Simon Kagwanja joins us. Simon,
what did I miss?
Why are you not in orange today?
Why are you keeping away the big story?
What's the big story? What's coming up?
Frontline is on.
NBS Frontline. Every new term has come with a new slogan, from 1996's No Change to 2000 and 2006's Unity, Peace, Democracy and Modernization. Steady Progress, Echisanja, 2011's Museveni Paka Last, 2016's Chisanja Hakuna Mchezo, 2021's Securing Your Future, and now Chisanja No Sleep. The slogan was introduced during President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni's swearing-in ceremony at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds. As he began another term in office, in his address, the president said the new phrase would focus on hard work, wealth creation, industrialization, and fighting poverty, warning that Uganda could not afford to sleep while competing economies move forward.
Chisanja should be regarded as a Chisanja of no more sleep for all Ugandans.
According to Museveni, Chisanja No Sleep represents a period of action aimed at accelerating economic transformation and improving household incomes through government wealth creation programs and increased production. Critics of the government, however, argue that similar commitments were made during Hakuna Mchezo era, yet challenges such as unemployment, corruption, and the high cost of living remain unresolved.
The slogans will change, but his approach remains the same.
So if this time he's saying no sleep, I hope he will not sleep himself.
Like always, supporters of the National Resistance Movement defend the new slogan, saying it reflects the president's determination to sustain Uganda's middle-income ambitions through industrialization, regional trade, and infrastructure development.
He's always been teaching our people how to transform.
So I think we should walk the talk this time, as Mzee has emphasized, please.
As the debate over the slogan continues, many Ugandans are now questioning whether Chisanja No Sleep will deliver measurable change or simply become another memorable political catchphrase in the country's history. This is The Frontline. NBS Frontline.
It's The Frontline. My name is Simon Kagwanja. A very good evening to you and welcome. We are looking at a shift from Chisanja Hakuna Mchezo, now Chisanja No Sleep. What lies beyond the pageantry, the fanfare, and the pomp that characterized the swearing-in of President Yoweri Museveni? 40 years in power, now promising to focus more on wealth creation and fighting poverty. Will he walk the talk, or is it more about sloganeering? How or what more would Ugandans expect from a president who's been around, seen it all, and promised it all? Joining me tonight is Mr. Moses Byaruhanga, a senior presidential assistant on advisor on political affairs, together with Honorable Semuju Ibrahim Nganda. Along the way, we'll also be joined by Honorable Chris Baryomunsi. I would actually call him former Minister of Information and National Guidance. Gentlemen, good to have you and a very good evening.
Good evening to you, Simon, and my colleague in the studio, and our viewers out there.
What is no sleep?
It's about working. The president was clear. We want Ugandans to engage in production, doing business, those in agriculture, those in service sector, those in manufacturing sectors, those in ICT. If we all worked and government offers the necessary facilitation to enable you work. For instance, on our line of transforming societies into a money economy, when we started the PDM, this Kisanja, which ended yesterday, we have so far spent 3.7 trillion shillings under PDM, reaching out to 3.7 million households. Now, those households, yesterday I was at a function of one of the members of Parliament who saw in yesterday, the Honorable Linda Uma, our Woman MP in Lira District. And they asked in the crowd, they said, is there somebody here who has benefited from PDM? He said, yes. One lady stood up, there were others, but one lady stood up and said, me, I benefited, I got 1 million shillings, I invested in piggery. I said, people are employing. He said, in the family, we're employing about 5 people. She bought 5 pigs. One has already given birth to 13 kids. And if all the 5 produce around 10 or thereabout, she will be, in the near future, she will be having over 4 million shillings.
Moses, you're kidding. I'm into piggery. I know the dynamics.
Well, somebody was telling me. You can tell me, you can tell your story. This is her story.
Okay.
Yeah, you can tell us yours. And I know of other people. You see that when the president was even traveling around the country during PDM, he was showing those videos of Ijala and others. Those Ijala was not from PDM, but there are many other PDM beneficiaries who tell you, I received this money, I did ABCD. There's this lady here in City Putambala, whom the president has been showing on videos, who benefited from PDM, and they are there. So, here in Kampala, during these elections, we met, Kampala has 98 parishes. Each one so far has about 350 beneficiaries. We have met all of them here in Kampala. I know them by, we have all the list of the beneficiaries, I've met them, and they are there. So the question is, if the 3.7 trillion has gone into production through PDM, we are also offering funds for for manufacturing through UDB. The UDB funds are there. So far, we have been capitalizing almost 1 trillion every year in UDB to help the side of manufacturing, the service sectors like tourism. All that is working. And if you want to see the effect of this, when people earn income through PDM, those who benefit and those they employ, because almost on average, every project employs like 2 people. So if you have reached out to 3.7 million households, and each one was employing 2 people, you're talking over 7 million people employed in PDM.
All said and done.
Yep.
Has the country been sleeping?
Some people have not been in the money economy. You see, when we carried out census in 2024, the people who are in the money economy then had increased to 68%, and those who are not in the money economy were 32%. You can say those who are sleeping. And you see, the president used this as a metaphor. I'm a student of literature. I studied literature. If you didn't study literature, please listen to me. There's what we call a metaphor, or using irony. So if you use a metaphor in literature, it doesn't mean people are just sleeping in their beds without waking up. It is use this literally. So don't take it from, it's just a face value meeting.
Thank you. Honorable Semuju, Chisanja, no sleep. How captivating is it? And how best would you unpack it as President Museveni now goes 40 plus in power?
I think it is easy to judge government. Under the last 5 years, we're implementing National Development Plan 3. We exited National Development Plan 3 in 2024, I think about a year ago. The performance of government on a program it assigned itself.
PDM?
No, the National Development Plan.
NDPS.
Was below 25% in all sectors. We've now gone into National Development Plan 4. There are programs there with money against those programs that we need to use to move to where they are promising us. So it is easy to judge government because they usually set themselves standards. if you speak about PDM and NRM, it's muchaka instructors like the senior presidential advisor. They always celebrate distribution, whether it is of seedling, even if they draw it in a store, as long as they took a record that seedlings went away. So that's what happened under Operation Wealth Creation, if you read the reports of the Auditor General. You don't judge the success of PDM by the number that have received the money. You judge by the number that have transformed, because the target of this program was the 39% households who the government said are not in the money economy. The average, because Uganda has about 10.6 million households, 39 translates into 14 million people, because we have 4 people per family, 4 point something. The recent report of the Auditor General says, because after 2 years, people who received money, the assumption, as Moses has said, they are into piggery, they have now made money, they are supposed to repay. By now, we should have 1 trillion shilling return, because this,
to the coffers.
This is supposed to be a revolving fund. The Auditor General says those who have paid the 1 trillion that they're supposed to have brought back is 1.6 billion. That's the only money they have returned. 1.6 billion.
The target is 1 trillion.
That's what they should be returning every year to continue revolving, because government is not going to be sending money forever. That's the policy. When we met the Minister of Finance, they actually said they have returned less than a billion. I'm not talking about 2 government sources, but even if both of them had said 2. So which means these people, and there are other yardsticks, we are dealing with a budget. One of the things that was troubling us as a budget committee and finance committee, because, and the Honorable Kate Shumba was in URA said so, if we have given people money, they are into piggery, they have done one, consumption level must go up of everything. And that means that domestic taxes must go up correspondingly. This financial, when you're looking at the budget, domestic taxes are going down. It is only international taxes that are going up. So if you want to use yardsticks beyond the sloganeering and politics, we haven't registered success. The only success, I agree with Moses, is that they went and stood on top of a hill and started distributing money, and people who have money are happy. When you call one in a crowd, they will gladly say, I am here, I received. But the transformation, because the issue was, this is like a rural credit facility. You want people to access money, because government thought the factor that was missing in production in the rural areas was money. Make money available. People will go into what Moses has described, and then they are happy. And then you see that
but
in
now,
them returning the money.
Now the president seems to be coming to remedy this, isn't he? Yes.
Somebody is missing a point. First, look at OWC, Wealth Creation. When we distributed the seedlings of coffee free to the farmers, starting in 2013, along the years, today the coffee exports, the coffee bags, what they call the 60 kg bags, have moved from about 3 million to 9 million. So 3-fold bags. And the earnings from coffee have increased from $400 million, between $400 and $500 million a year, to $2.4 billion in the last year.
Do you know of any particular plantation that you could proudly say this was sponsored by government?
Yes.
Where?
In, across the country, where we distribute seedlings. Now, you think this coffee which is being exported in the large volume of 9 million bags, earning the country $2.4 billion, the first ever in so many years of Uganda. Listen. No.
Yes.
Listen, this coffee is coming from where? Is it coming from Congo? Is it coming from Rwanda?
No, people buy their seedlings.
No, we have been distributing free coffee seedlings in Uganda, and that's the success you are seeing. It's under OWC. Go to Zombo areas where we're distributing tea leaves, tea seedlings. People are growing tea. go to some area of western Uganda where, like Kanungu area, Kigezi had never grown tea for many years, but we started growing tea under OWC. If you go there today, in fact, now the tea farmers are complaining about international prices being low, but the tea has been planted.
Honorable Semuji, when the president comes out and says, this time, he sounds intentional in saying that this time,
No,
this
but before that, I wanted to respond also to Semuji. See, Semuji is saying, oh, yes, we gave the people a grace period of 2 years to start repaying PDM funds, paying back. Now, you don't pay back the whole million at a go. So he's telling you that they have so far paid 1 point something. That's okay.
And they are.
But the question is.
A year has elapsed.
The question is yes, but you see, it doesn't mean that you. I think we need to clarify there as the government how, in what period, because they said the grace period is 2 years. It doesn't mean that when the 2 year clocks, you bring back the million on the same day.
The target was to recoup at least 1 trillion. No. At least 1 trillion.
Whose target was that?
That's a policy.
No. Listen to me. I'm here. We make policy.
I don't have to listen to you.
You have
policies
to.
Come to ask for approval.
But we're the one who bring them
they are
anyway.
No longer your policies.
They are ours. We're the one in government. Where you're not government. In fact, today you're not an MP.
You bring them for approval.
For you, you haven't sworn in.
I don't have to.
So,
but
we have a new parliament. We have a new parliament now.
Yes.
Now, if we see
so you're going to withdraw the old policy.
What we brought.
Because Semuju has left.
Listen. You have left. Good enough.
So you're going.
And thank God.
You're going to
now. So you see, we said we gave a grace period of 2 years. Now Semuju is assuming that after the year clocks 2 years, you bring the whole million at a go.
I think can you call PDM a success story?
Yes, it is.
Where you have not even recouped.
No, it's not about our issue. Was not just about recouping. Our issue was helping these people with the capital to start businesses, which they have done. Now, on the question of payment,
they have defaulted.
We gave them a grace period of 2 years. We need to sensitize them on the mode of repayment.
Okay.
Because
you ate into
because the policy did not state that you should pay it in this period.
Well, Honorable Semuju, you may come.
And we shall clarify on that.
It will take you forever.
No, it only gave them
a
grace period of 2 years, but we didn't say after 2 years clock.
Did you read the Auditor General's report?
You bring the 1 million at a go.
The Auditor General was talking about recovery.
Even when you borrow from the bank, you have borrowed 10 million, and they give you a grace period of, say, 3 months. It doesn't mean that you bring the 10 million after 3 months.
Well,
it is easy, and you can eat into my time. What were you supposed to have recovered by today?
You don't, well, I don't have that figure on me.
So then
but
why are you?
No,
you said you
but
drafted
the success. No, it is not clear. That was not clarified. Okay. It's not clarified. I can get you the figures here. I mean,
for me, the issue. Because these are government reports.
Yeah.
I have told you here time and again, if you read the Bank of Uganda Financial Capability Survey report, Bank of Uganda is telling you that people who earn 1 million shilling and above, because let me first give you the other figures for me to explain this. URA has on its register, because URA collects more money from pay as you earn, which is 7 trillion. But they are collecting it from about 1 million, sometimes 800,000 people. Those are people who are paying that amount of money. In the formal, people who have formal employment that you can tax to grow a country, you can look at this, because in the public service you have just less than 500,000. If you look at the NSSF has about 2 million registered contributors, but annually you have about 800,000 who are contributing. But also if you look at the register of URA, people who directly pay as you earn, they have, I think, about 2 million, but less than 1 million are contributing.
Well, Honorable Semuju,
yeah, so
in essence, what does Museveni's 7th term bring to the country?
It brings nothing. And I have seen people making argument. Moses is celebrating I have left Parliament, and he has every reason to do so.
That was tongue in cheek, I imagine.
But the next the next term of office, the 5 years, we have already, as Parliament, before I left Moses, approved both the policy and funding. The next 1 year, what will be done in the next 1 year is already passed by Parliament. So 1 year is gone. And what have we passed? 84 trillion budget, 33 trillion is for debt servicing. You have about 10 trillion paying government employees. 8 trillion other current expenditure, vehicles, fuel, seminars, special bills, etc. Moses, if you look at the 14 million people who are 39% households in Uganda, in the last 4 years, you can even add the 1 trillion that came in last. The last time when I was making a presentation in Parliament, you had spent about 4.3 trillion on 14 million people under PDM. Because 1 trillion is also passed, it is gone.
For next financial year?
We've closed the term. So in this 5-year term, because we started with 300 million,
no, the total, I got a figure today from finance.
I don't have to go to, I don't have to go to finance. I passed the money in Parliament. You can have your figure, Moses.
You pass and
see, you will argue your figure, I am arguing mine. And you don't have to.
You have had issues of what you have passed and what has been released not being the same.
I know both. Yeah. I am telling you, so today, all the money for PDA.
I got from accountant general.
In this term of office, listen, Moses. In this term of office, we have passed and finance has released 4.3 trillion. We have spent on State House 4.4 trillion. So you have
Does that figure match what you got?
Wait,
it doesn't have to match. It's not the originator of the figures. I receive figures officially.
Please.
And that's why you're celebrating.
Your time is gone.
You're celebrating my departure in Parliament.
This is from Semugoma, the Accountant General. The figures of our release. I got it today.
You want to look at this?
I don't have to.
Yes, so
I don't have to.
How do you verify your sources?
But it changes nothing.
You have his telephone number?
It changes nothing because actually it says they have spent less. Me, I'm saying they have spent more. So I'm happy we can go with this figure, even if he reduces
3.7
trillion.
Yeah. 3.7 trillion.
We can actually even
so far released.
I have no problem with the figure he's quoting, but the issue is, in the last 5 years of Chisanja Hakuna Mchezo, you have spent 4.4 trillion at the residence of the President's State House. One person and family. But you have also spent 3.7 on 14 million people. So who will get out of poverty? So the biggest problem of government, that's why I said you need to contextualize.
I need this distinction. State House?
4.4 trillion. 14 million people under PDM, the 39% households, you've spent, according to Yarohanga, 3.7. The figures I have in Parliament, including money that we passed, is 4.3. Because I am also including money that...
So now the president is coming to fix with Hakuna sleep.
But I'm telling you, have passed the budget for next financial year.
Yeah, and who's going to spend it?
The spend is going to be the same. Yeah. And I have told you.
So where is your problem?
The problem is that you are sloganeering. Because when you have programs to implement, you must have money to implement them.
And we have.
I have told you the performance of government under National Development Plan 3 was less than 25%. They just fine-tuned it and called it National Development Plan 4.
Moses, yes.
The problem I have with Semuju, we're just playing around with the figures, which and that doesn't explain well. If you talk about, for instance, in these 5 years, the economy has expanded from equivalent in American US dollars 61 billion to now 66 billion, close to 68 billion by end of the financial year. That was the projection. Now, what led to that expansion?
You want an explanation?
It is the economy has expanded.
You want an explanation?
Wait. The per capita income has increased. That's the wealth for the people. And when you come back to PDM again, when you look at the people who have benefited from PDM, when they earn that income, like those who are selling, I went to Luwero in 2023 and met all PDM beneficiaries from Luwero sub-county. There are about 1,200 of them. My other team went to Lango in one of the sub-counties in Dokolo and met the beneficiaries there. Another one went to Pakwach, we met the beneficiaries there. Another went to Mukono in the C sub-county and we met the beneficiaries there. And each one of them were telling us their stories.
Is it part of your docket?
Yeah. We run a country.
Okay.
Yeah. So, so we met these beneficiaries. And they were telling us their stories. I've benefited this, I've done this, I've done this, and done this. Even where there were mistakes of people asking for them to pay money to receive, before they receive the 1 million, they gave us all those reports, and the action was taken on the culprits. So when I talk about the impact of PDM, I know what I'm talking about, because we have been dealing with the people directly. When they earn income, they spend on infrastructure, on consumption. When they spend on consumption, they are consuming goods produced in Uganda, even some of which are imported. Some of they were saying that taxes on imports have gone up. Okay, if taxes on imports have gone up, what are you importing and who is consuming what is imported?
Well, Honorable Samji, you want to come in?
Who is consuming what has been imported?
It looks as though the contradiction is on figures.
Is it by MPs?
There is no contradiction.
Yeah.
If you study these figures carefully, you will know that they are exaggerated or they are misrepresented. If you look at the GDP, for example, we now earn in courts, I think about $6 billion US from gold. That gold is from Congo, trafficked.
No.
I am telling you, Moses.
No, you're just a lie.
Because you see, these things are simple.
Yeah.
When government brings a budget every year, they will tell you that this will be government receipts. And if you look at all the budgets, including next financial year, we are going to collect taxes of about 30-something trillion, get money from local government, which is about 3 trillion. There is no money from gold. Just show me even one line in your budget, money that is from gold, either as taxes or receipts. It is not there.
So what's your problem?
The gold passing here,
Moses is asking
the problem,
what your problem is.
read the Bank of Uganda. Bank of Uganda tells you that you are exporting gold worth about $6 billion US. What remains in the Ugandan economy is $200 million US. What that means, when they are calculating GDP, they are going to include the gold, which is just passing.
You see,
that's what it is, Moses. That's what it is.
But same with you.
But because you have been addressing rallies of peasants, you go and tell them GDP has grown from 62 now to 68. It hasn't grown.
Let me educate you. You see, Uganda,
educate some of you.
Yeah.
Who's been passing the budget?
It's okay. I want to be educated.
Yes, you see, gold. Uganda, we passed a policy that no export of unprocessed raw materials, including minerals. So when that policy was passed, there are about now, I think, 13 refineries, gold refineries in Uganda. When you look at the figures from URA, gold is coming in from Ghana, it's coming in from Mozambique, it's coming in from Botswana, it's coming in from some countries in Southern Africa for refining here in Uganda.
Where is the refinery?
There are about 13 of them in Uganda.
Wow.
You don't know that, Kagwa?
Okay.
I can organize and take you to one of them. So there are many of them. So because we are refining gold, gold is coming in from other countries for refining through Uganda. So what is talking about the value of what remains is the value added. Because the other one has come in as gold from Ghana, so to your gold. You add value through refining it to 99.9%, and it goes it's exported. So that's what's happening. It's not coming from Congo. Congo will be sold the least. You can get figures from URA because you talk about figures. Get figures from URA about Ugandan imports. You will see a lot of gold coming in.
Do you get conviction out of this?
So whether you convince or not, I'm not convincing him. I'm convincing the viewers. It's about Semuju because Semuju can deliberately refuse to accept facts. That's his problem. But the issue is gold is coming in from Ghana. The gold is coming in from Mozambique. It's coming in from Burkina Faso in large numbers. And I can have the figures here from URA and some Southern African countries. And this is the gold which is refined in Uganda.
Honorable Semuji, you may come in
see,
as we wait to
we
speak
are
to
losing a
Honorable
point. I
Bayumis.
have told you when you are presenting a budget and its financing, you're going to indicate where the money to finance the budget will come from. Just asked Moses, just show me one line in the budget. Because we are supposed to have taxed 200, I think $200 per kilogram.
Per kilogram, yeah.
But even that, the president suspended. Why? People who are involved in the gold...
There was a case in court, you know.
People who are involved in the gold trade told him, because the benefit that we get out of that gold passing through Uganda is stabilization.
Not being refined in Uganda.
Yeah, but just passing, they can refine it elsewhere.
But the
benefit we get is that that gold has been helping us to stabilize the shilling. And it's good economics by Museveni, you give him credit. Because people who are trafficking that gold from Congo can export it through Rwanda, mainly can export it through Tanzania. So the benefit, actually people who sell gold here, they go to Dubai, Thailand, China, sell and return with physical money, dollar. That's why your shilling has been a bit stable. And when these guys, the ones who are selling and are refining, met the president and convinced him that this is the benefit that you get, he said, okay, you first wait the $200 per kilogram. This benefit is more important. My only problem is that when you are calculating GDP, you include the 6 billion from gold, which you know that is not your gold. It's just transiting through Uganda. But the point, Njara, which I don't want us to lose, I have told you the financial capability survey report by Bank of Uganda tells you majority of people who are working in Uganda, if you read the report of National Planning Authority puts the labor force at 15.8 million people. And 13 point something are in private sector. Then Bank of Uganda tells you that of those 15.8, more than half earn 150,000 per month. That's what they earn. The ones who hand to mouth, the ones who go to all the factories in Namamvi. They just go to get money to buy a chapati and go home. That's what should be bothering someone in the government. That you have people walk, stream every morning, and you can go even tomorrow, stream into factories, and then 95% of them are earning 150 because they pay them 7,000 a day. I have formally complained to the Minister for Investment, Evelyn Anite, and I said these guys are being exploited. But they continue. She said, okay, at least they are working. We have those who are not working at all. The report of the IMF tells you that Uganda is not utilizing 60% of its labor force. You meet the younger people in trading centers every day. What are they doing? 60% of our labor force is not utilized. If Kisanja, no sleep is going to change anything, you start seeing it in the budget. Because 60% of the population is in agriculture. Less than 1%, the coverage of irrigation is at less than 1%. The report of both Bank of Uganda and IMF tells you that people who have improved seeds are less than 4%. So these are things where government must invest. I was sharing with a colleague, I said I am an MP, okay, Moses reminds me you have gone and we are celebrating. You pay me well. You give me breakfast. You give me lunch. You send children to primary school. You don't feed them. And then you tell the parents not to feed them. That's why IMF is telling you that the productivity level of children who are in school today will not exceed 39%. You need to see an improvement and movement of money from items that are unavoidable and that are not necessary, useless.
Well, Honorable Chris Bariomusi, the man from Kanungu, joining us now. Good to have you.
You were saying that when he comes here, you're going to be calling him former minister. Now he has come.
Yes, I believe you're now a former minister.
I'm a brand new member of parliament from Chichini.
Okay. Well,
I am still a minister.
President Musa,
like I explained earlier on this show.
We're finding this problematic that in the new term, the same cabinet, was the same cabinet now transferred?
Yes, the president has not yet appointed a new cabinet, and he has allowed the outgoing cabinet to remain in office in this transitional period.
But the ministers,
until when we hand
your
over to
colleagues signed out.
Which ones?
Honorable Mao, several ministers signed out and said they're done.
How? Did you attend the ceremonies where they signed out?
Honorable Norbert Mao took a video and said, it's my last day, I am signing out of office, I will no longer be Minister of Justice until otherwise.
Well, it's just misguided. Because I have said on this very show that the president spoke over the issue and said the ministers should continue.
Are you speaking like national guidance?
Absolutely. I am the Minister of Information.
Well,
so
you're Minister for Information.
Okay. He advised that the honorable ministers should keep in office
irregularly
until that time when the new team has come and then the ministers hand over.
Maybe,
like I said earlier on,
do you think there is a lacuna? Do you find a lacuna?
Issuing the appropriate instrument to effect that transition.
Do you find a lacuna? In
the 9th Parliament, the Honorable Dr. Ulme Baiga tabled the private members' bill on transition. The NRM people are hysterical. Even to hear word transition, they thought that maybe Museveni was going the following day. They opposed the bill. I visited Ghana. Their experience was chaotic. When J. Rawlings left office, he supported his vice president, and the vice president lost. The opposition that had won did not wait for a formal handover. They were kicking doors the following day. As a result, Ghana enacted a transition act that guides what happens. It shouldn't be at the whim of the president that you must continue. So we are still lacking that, and I agree, from 7 says ministers should stay on until a formal handover has happened.
Is it irregular or you find
it should be okay, but we need to make it regular if it is irregular.
Well,
so we need a transitional arrangement, because I saw people in these Mivumba attires in Koro, the ones who are sharing in the president. We must have a national transitional committee that welcomes the president and hand over instruments. It cannot be you with Museveni poster on your shoulder that you are the one. There must be a national committees to hand transition. The trouble is that because they are transiting, they are the ones who are transiting and the ones who are incoming.
Well, Honorable Barrio Musi.
You are saying I'm putting on Muvumba. Muvumba means the second-hand clothes. Are you saying they are clothes which come from outside Uganda, second-hand with the Museveni's portrait?
Yeah, you buy and then put Museveni portrait.
Museveni, President Museveni,
yes,
declared Chisanja no sleep.
Yes.
Are we seeing a rebrand of Museveni 40 years later?
Well, I have been following the debate from the beginning on phone. Phone. Like Moses said, don't just take it literally that he meant sleeping in a bed or on the floor. He has been using that language largely to explain the effort by government to create wealth creation and ensuring that Ugandans get out of subsistence livelihood and get into the money economy. And you recall that in the 2014 census, the statistics that we got were that up to 68% of Ugandan households were in subsistence economy. Subsistence means hand to mouth. And this later fell to 39%. I think the latest figures from the Uganda Bureau of Statistics put the figure at 33%. So he considers those who are not part of the money economy as those who are sleeping. So his message was, in this coming term, we must all up our sleeves and work very hard and ensure that the remaining households and remaining individuals in Uganda can get into the money economy by reducing or eliminating subsistence.
Isn't this the usual rhetoric that the president makes at every address?
Well, even if it is the usual rhetoric, but there is evidence that things have been progressing. There has been significant progress. Even the PDM we have been speaking about, there is progress which is visible. So he's basically saying, if there has been some lethargy, if there has been some weakness in the past, everybody must wake up and we work 24/7 as Team No Sleep Uganda, so that we can all move into the money economy. And there is nothing wrong with that.
Do you agree with the notion that the country has been asleep and he's now awakening it from slumberland?
You know, he's saying there are those who are asleep. Asleep in a sense that they are not earning money, they are not putting money in their pockets, they are not creating wealth. And therefore, going forward, we must mobilize the country to lift those who are below, those who are in subsistence, and all of them to be in the money economy.
Well, so I
have no problem with the language that he used.
And Moses,
not misunderstand it.
Moses, I intently listened to the president. Do you think he touched the chord of the state of affairs of the country? The real issues that Ugandans were yearning to hear from him?
What are they?
Transition.
Which transition?
The Mao transition, that is.
We have a constitution in Uganda which says we should elect every 5 years the national leaders, like we had election in January. So the next election is 2031, January. I don't know the date, but it will be January definitely, as per the constitution. So new leaders will be elected. The president will be elected, the parliament will be elected, local governments will be elected, councils will be elected. So that's it. Now, when you talk about, we are talking about today, we need to continue the transformation of the country because we have been transforming it.
Let's look at, okay, transition.
We have been transforming. I'm not talking about transition, transformation, socio-economic transformation.
State of politics.
Socio-economic transformation of Uganda, which is going on. The per capita GDP is improving. People, like I said, and the Honorable Demus has also added, that the beneficiaries of PDM are getting out of poverty through investment of that money, those who are using it well. And if you look, the other day...
Is this the most critical thing?
Definitely. People must get out of poverty. For if your critical thing is transition, your critical thing is people get out of poverty. So here we are at loggerheads. For you, what is critical is transition.
What
transition
can be more critical than improving
than people getting out of poverty.
Honorable Semuju, what do you think were the misses in the president's inaugural address?
The most critical thing today is getting out of poverty.
I'm getting back, yes.
You see, I covered Mr. Museveni as a journalist. Even when we had a radio program attended by Chris, Museveni will never address an issue straight. Never. He will give a lengthy background, and then the issues you want him to touch, he will scratch them and then he will end. I went to cover the movement conference in Chankwanz 2003. I was at Monitor. The issue that was troubling the country was the maneuvers to remove the term limits from the constitution. Museveni gave a 2-hour and I think 15 minutes address on creation of man from Gobya Mugenyi, what. Towards the end, he said there is also this issue, one paragraph. But that's what the country was waiting to listen to. When we went to Parliament, in the 9th Parliament, he had grouped younger MPs and he was meeting groups. So he meets one group, starts his ideology, Pan-Africanism, those things that he likes. Fiona Egunyu, who was, I think, Buvuma Woman MP, told the president, my people are not going to eat ideology. I want you to speak about the issues. Of course, the rest is history. So what is troubling the country is politics. And Museveni has written it himself. In one of his books, What is Africa's Problems was not transformation. That's not what he said, Moses Biarahang. I am reminding you. He said what is troubling Africa are leaders who overstay in power. In a book written.
Without being elected.
They never put that. You are now qualifying it. It is not in the book, but you must go and read it again. I think now you feel funny about it. Now you have to qualify. So what was troubling Africa, according to that Museveni of that time,
was backwardness.
Leaders.
No. No, the biggest.
That's the book.
I've read that book.
It does not matter. So am I right?
There's even a second edition. Did you also talk about backwardness? Traveling Africa.
I am picking one issue. So you are
there are many other issues. The others.
You are adding another.
The whole book was not written on one topic.
But after writing it and say, because the book cannot be one sentence.
Yes. Yeah, there's also backwardness.
And I'm not stupid to say that the whole book was about that.
Has written many more books.
That's what we're implying.
So you cannot summarize, as people say these days, you cannot summarize the issue of politics in the country. It's a very big issue. It gives people comfort to work. And that's why it is the most debated issue, not the transformation, Moses, you're talking about. Everybody wants to be transformed. But you must also sort out the politics.
So what did you want him to say about politics?
He no longer says it, so I didn't want him to say it because he was never going to say it. I have asked him personally, not through anyone. We are seated the way we are seated here. And I told him, give Uganda a gift to Mr. Museveni by announcing when you are leaving. Then he said, the NRM will decide. So the point is, you have an 80-year-old man. I saw the recent article by Andrew Mwenda. He said his age has now become a trouble for the country. The way people were taking advantage of Museveni's age. That is Mwenda's latest article, the spokesperson of PLE. He thinks the age has an issue. When you are 80, 81 year old, you must give people comfort that this is how politics is going to be done. Because it is one uncompleted project in Uganda. The constitution had set parameters, they were removed. You have had Museveni staying in power almost for life. And I am one of those who think, I pleaded with him, sir, please help us. I even offered, I said, I will dance for you the day you leave. And he said, NRM will decide. So you must address politics. You must also address issues of transformation. It is legitimate. And that's why you said in his book, What is Africa's Problem? He also spoke about backwardness. It is totally in order that you focus the country and give everybody comfort, people who are in prison. Dr. Besigye, who was his doctor, treated all these NRM big people when they were in the world, and immediately after capturing power. He's about to make 2 years in prison on fake charges. We have Sam Mugumya. Sam Mugumya was our candidate in the last election. He was kidnapped from Barara. Up to now, we don't know where he is. Our secretary for international relations, Sam Makoha, is in Ruzira. No leaders and supporters are all in Ruzira. They have parents. There are those who have been killed. Those issues you must address, because the issue of the election, the president is being sworn in after an election. Sort out issues to do with the election and then rally the country on transformation.
Well, when we return, Honorable Mario Musi will definitely be giving you an answer to this because I've seen quite a number of headlines in global media outlets. They're focusing more on 40 years of Museveni, past 80, his age, and also a disputed election.
Disputed by who?
By us.
I saw Al Jazeera.
Who are the us? Who are the us?
Your room.
You want me to respond now?
Well, no. We'll take a very short break, but I have a very urgent announcement to make here from UETCL about the planned maintenance works in Greater Kampala metropolitan area from May 14th. There's going to be a shutdown from May 14th to June 2nd, 2026. The shutdowns will enable UETCL to safely carry out critical network improvements along the Lugogo-Kampala North 132 kV transmission line. And the areas to be affected, Kamwochat TC, Old Kira Road, Mawanda Road, Acacia Avenue, Kawalia, Kagwa Close, Chisemi Inti parts of Bukoto, Mulimira Zone, Chifumbira, and Tufnell Drive. Well, UEDCL is appealing to the affected customers to plan accordingly. We'll be back after the break.
NBS Frontline.
Can I have a light, please? What is this?
Castor Light, the best testing light.
Try it.
Try it, try it, try it. Da, 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 da.
Guys, look at this post.
Nothing hits like extra cold. Castle Light. Try it. Better study tips. Scammers often pose as friends or family to gain your trust. Always verify requests for money or personal data, even if they seem urgent. A quick call to the person or company claiming to contact you can save you from falling victim to this deceit. In partnership with Uganda Communications Commission and NBS.
In a fast-moving world, why are we still stuck with paperwork? Signing here, stamping there, moving from office to office. It's exhausting. Now, there's a better way. With UGPass, you can securely prove your identity, sign documents, and access government services anytime, anywhere. No delays, no stress. Everything is instant, safe, secure, and government-backed. UGPass, your identity secured. Available in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. UGPass is a product of NITA Uganda. When the news moves, you move with it on AfroMobile. Get real-time updates and the moment they unfold. Choose from over 80 live TV and radio channels and follow current affairs your way on the platforms you rely on the road, in the office, in the middle of your work, or out and about. AfroMobile keeps the story going with you. Download AfroMobile today and stay connected to every update as it happens.
The National Mosquito Net Distribution Campaign is back. No one should die of malaria in this era. It is your responsibility to chase malaria from your home. The good news is that the government of Uganda has once again started distribution of mosquito nets under the 5th Universal Coverage Campaign, also known as the Under the Net campaign. Under this exercise, 1 mosquito net will be distributed per 2 people in every household. A village health team member, a community health extension worker, also known as a CHU, and the LC1 chairperson will move house to house to register members of the household in preparation for receiving their mosquito nets. Do not lie back. Ensure that you register all your household members to receive a mosquito net. On the distribution date, move to your distribution point and receive your net. Mosquito nets protect you and your family members from infectious mosquito bites that lead to malaria. Ensure that you receive the net, hang the net, and sleep under the net every night.
In a digital world, not everything is what it seems. False stories today spread faster than truth, leaving us all wondering what's real. Disinformation misleads, misinformation misguides and spreads confusion and fear. Dismiss, a campaign to help you think critically, question wisely, and verify thoroughly. Join us. Let's build a more informed Uganda, one truth at a time. Dismiss, inquire, verify, confirm. Together, let's fight fake news.
And that's it for today. Till the next episode.
Like a daily bando, like a daily bando, like a daily bando. Omuliro nguwulira muli mu mutima gukankana like drums. Kalakata, kalakata, endungu ya kusabula. Mikono juu, free of fire, free of fire, free of
NBS Frontline.
Well, it's still the front line as we dive into what lies ahead for President Museveni as he takes on a 7th term in office. Honorable Barrio Musi, the global headlines were more to do with a president who's been in power for 40 years, who has aged and who won a disputed election. What's your reaction?
Well, my reaction is that he's there for 40 years through the will of Ugandans. Because when you look at the history of this country, is that between independence and 1986, those were 24 years. We had close to 10 presidents in Uganda. But we had the elections only once, December 1980, which were disputed, like we are saying. So the question is, where were those presidents coming from? Ugandans were not participating in electing who becomes a president. And having many presidents did not necessarily result into transformation. Rather, the state collapsed. Now, under NRM, since 1986 to date, Ugandans have voted for President Yoweri Museveni. The lesson you draw from that is that Ugandans have appreciated that what you lack is not just changing presidents, but what Uganda lacked
with a questionable election.
Just hold on. What Ugandans lacked was having a leader, a president, who knows what to do and who is leading the transformation process of the country. Because when you look at that period when we had many presidents, some of them being there for months and days, and when we have had one president over this period, there has been appreciable transformation and progress in the 40 years. And that's why the president is voted again. So those global headlines can be there, but Ugandans who understand the history of the country also understand why they vote for President. Because President Yoweri Museveni is not imposing himself on Ugandans. In the last election, there were 8 candidates who went out to canvass for support. And in politics, whoever gets the largest majority becomes the winner. The president got close to 72% of those who cast their votes and was declared the winner. So do you want him to apologize for winning the elections? No. And therefore, what Ugandans need is transformation, is better services, is progress going ahead, not necessarily changing presidents. What we are calling disputed elections, disputed by who? Well, some of the candidates who participated, particularly the leader of NUP, just went away, I think for Cheyo, if I can say that. But nobody, first of all, nobody chased him. I have said severally, the state is not hunting for him. Their constitutional means how to challenge an election. If you are not satisfied with the results, you will go to court, and the court determines the outcome. So there is no dispute. The dispute is in the people's just minds, especially what some of the opposition leaders feed the outside world through social media and so forth. But there is no dispute in Uganda. Uganda is peaceful from corner to corner. Ugandans have accepted the results. You saw how they turned up, how they have been celebrating the swearing in, and we are moving. And what we are calling transition is taking place in Uganda. That's why the other time we had the FDC as leader of opposition. Then they transited it to NUP as leader of opposition. You see the high attrition rate in the parliament, where 60% plus of MPs lose, a new team comes. The councillors are being voted in and out. Transition is happening. What probably some of you...
transition that's...
Just hold on. What some of you want to call transition is the President Yoweri Museveni leaving power. That's not the definition. President Yoweri Museveni will leave power, of course, sometime later. But as long as the NRM party which he leads endorses him as a flag bearer, like it has done, and Ugandans vote for him, there is no big problem. Well, so the question of saying the main issue is politics and so forth, these issues of governance, issues of politics, were articulated in the Constitution.
Moses, there is so much fuss about the president's long stay in power and his age. Do you think these two are counting against him as he takes on the 7th term?
Why would they count against him? Ugandans who voted for him knowing how old he is. There were people who are younger. It's not about age. People are saying, where are you taking us? So, for instance, there's something I liked about Noop. When their president was in Busoga, he made a statement. He said, I'm going to abolish PDM. He's younger than President Museveni. Now, I like that statement. In fact, whenever I would go on radios, I was having a radio program every Tuesday on CBS during the campaign period. And I would say, you choose between the one who's going to abolish PDM and the one who's going to maintain PDM. So it's about your policy. What are you promising Ugandans? So Ugandans were seeing the young and the old and who. There were the Mugisha Muntu, where maybe you could say middle, I don't know that will be middle age. I think he's in the 60s. The other, Bobby Wine must be maybe either late 30s or early 40s. President Museveni in the 80s. So people made a choice, depending on what message are you giving them. So why would people be bothered about that? Yes, they know his age, they voted for him, they know his programs, they know what to expect from Museveni, they know what they know where he has gotten Uganda from, where it is today. In terms of security, Uganda is like an island in this area of East Africa, where you have South Sudan, the other side, the DRC, the other side, Sudan up, the other Sudan up, where there's chaos, and they know which case we had in Uganda. They see the economy transforming. We have said they see the roads being constructed. They see we have now recently started on construction of Standard Gauge Railway. So that's what we're voting for.
Honorable Semuju, is it possible now to give a clear prediction of what these 5 years will be like? What is certain and uncertain?
You see, I think we're making progress as a country. People in the traditional opposition and NRM were all discussing issues of governance, issues of free and fair elections. The NRM along the way became defensive. The Honorable Barriomons, the Honorable Margaret Mahanga, Honorable Frank Tumwebazi, I don't remember the 4th or the 5th. But after, I think, 2006 election, wrote a paper calling for an internal discussion about, I think, their own elections and by extension, the country's elections. Because when you are discussing elections, it is...
Was this a dossier for NRM?
I must have reported about it in Parliament. They saturated it. But that debate never happened, like the one of Besigye. NRM is allergic to those sort of debates. What we should be discussing, if we care about Uganda, is the quality of elections, not the outcome. Because Bariomus wants us to celebrate 72%. In Rwanda, it is even, was it 90-something? Rwanda is peaceful from corner to corner. Their elections, the president gets 90-something%. That was Saddam Hussein. That is everybody. Most of strongmen military people.
Mubarak got 94?
Yes. Most of strongmen military people will get the percentages that they want. Even Tanzania has also been now spoiled by Museveni and Rajiri Rwanda. The Suruhu got 90-something. So it is not the percentages that you get, it is the quality of the election. Because national election is a national project. We've spent more than 2.5 trillion shilling on elections, taxpayers' money. So these elections must be worth the name.
So is the country still haunted by the election?
You have people who are in prison. You have the opposition.
Because of elections?
Because of elections.
If you make
I was in Chiteya to see the Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi this week. Picked from his home and is being accused of crimes he never committed.
Are you sure?
Yes, because Mwanga never shot anyone dead, but there are people who were shot dead. He didn't have even a kasari. But the ones who shot are not in prison. The one in whose house people were shot is the one who is in prison. Why don't we have those who are shooting people in Butambara? He's in prison. I went to visit him this week. You have others. I've told Dr. Wesley is there. We have some Mukumi and others. You don't have to go through the names. So the issue is these particular elections and all the elections we have had, the tendency by the NRM people is to invite a discussion on the outcome, not on the processes leading. Because the Museveni that you are saying is very popular, how much of our money has he used to popularize himself? He spent almost a whole year going around the country giving money, campaigning for PDM, taking photographs with the people and the pigs and the eggs and everything, and then saying the country has transformed. That was a whole year campaign. Then you go into the campaign themselves, militarized, rigging of elections, about staffing. In Chira, where I've been an MP, NRM people who became number 3 were being announced winners for the mayor,
so
for the
division
mayors.
NRM MP from your constituency?
That's not the only position we elected, Honorable Yomus.
We would be more interested in that one than even any other.
That one, when I lost, I came and said I had lost fairly.
But not to NRM.
No, I didn't lose to NRM, but even if I had lost to NRM, I would say, because me, I am a Democrat. If I lose the elections, I'll come and tell you I have lost.
They were declaring the person.
I am telling you, we had the mayor for Chira. NRM person came, not even number 3 was announced a winner. You saw what happened with Muyanja. We were with him in Parliament, Chris Variomos. You saw Muyanja Senyonga in Mukono. He was announced temporarily, and when he was going out celebrating, they announced NRM. You saw what happened to the chairman of Wakiso district. You have...
I don't know, I was not part of the process.
It is your decision to choose what to know, and I can't blame you for that. So we haven't sorted out issues of election. These are not elections that anyone who wishes Uganda well will celebrate. There must be a discussion in some form. Do we continue with these elections? Look at the level of militarism. We're talking about what to expect in the next 5 years. Militarism. Military has taken over our lives. You go to police station, military people. On the street, military people. You go to government departments, military. So we have slowly crept back where, because when Museveni came here, he said the military shouldn't even be around Kampala. They should be in Bombo. He actually physically removed them from Mbuya, took them to Bombo. Now, not only did he bring them back to Mbuya, they are the ones in NIRA, they are the ones in immigration, they are the ones in parliament, they are the ones everywhere.
And they are doing well.
Yeah, military people will do well.
They are doing well. And that's what Uganda.
Military people will do well.
And that's what Uganda wants.
But democracy means that the military must be neutral and saluting everybody.
Yeah, but if you're in immigration, you're neutral. What's wrong with it?
So even in cabinet, so you've forgotten what Museveni wrote.
Is immigration political?
In CA, when you had Serwanga, Tinyefuza and Besigye speaking out, Museveni wrote, I still have that letter to the NRM. And he said, when you go multi-party, these soldiers will not be in parliament. They need to go away. You now have them as ministers. Even the CDF has a political party.
No, but
he has a political party and the MPs. I didn't see Arohanga going to celebrate his birthday. So we've gone back into military role. These Arohangas are just sugarcoating. And that will affect everybody, Moses. We can't pretend about it.
So is it likely to be the major feature, the main feature of Museveni's 5 years?
When people grow old, the president has himself said it. When he was meeting traders at Kororo, he said, I have grown, I am about to meet the Almighty. So someone who is preparing to meet the Almighty should be kind enough to the country to prepare it. I am not old, but I can meet the Almighty, but I am preparing my children. I periodically have a discussion with them. If I die this hour, so the president should be kind enough. So the next 5 years are going to be years of uncertainty. These NRM people, when we meet them in the corridor, because they are also human beings, they want a more stable environment. They don't know. That's why you see ministers running to Kororo to celebrate the birthday of Mohoz. They think maybe he's the next president. Maybe he is. Old people who can't even run 2 meters are there in Kololo, and you wonder. So the level of uncertainty in the country, we need to find a solution.
Do you think Semuju is being alarmist in that, looking at the next 5 years as very uncertain times?
Jim Mwezi is 76. I saw him in Kololo. You saw Kayihura. You looked frail.
Well,
they are all in Kololo.
Moses, I'll come to you,
All the people,
Moses, do you think
we need to be
Honorable
serious.
Semuju is being alarmist?
I am not.
In making predictions of uncertainty.
Does Semuju surprise you? If you know the Semuju, you know. He's always like that. So that doesn't surprise me. Ugandans, as I said earlier, there are many candidates, the 8 candidates, as the Honorable Williams mentioned, of different ages. Yes, President Museveni was the oldest of the candidates. They chose President Museveni because of the policies and what he stands for, and made him president.
Is this an election you can write home about?
Yes, yes. I participated in this election. I was
where military was all over the place. And
but his military was they from Congo?
But the law doesn't allow military to participate in the election.
See, why did they participate? If you're going to cause chaos, the military will come in definitely. If somebody wants to prepare to make chaos, the military will not say, oh, this is an election, somebody can do what he wants. No, they will come in because that's their role. So I don't see any problem. I was here in Kampala most of the campaign time. I was the agent.
You approve of this election?
Yes.
The quality?
Yes. I was an agent of candidate Yoweri Museveni at electoral commission meetings. NUP had their candidates, they had the agents. I think Rubongoya was one of the meetings. Benjamin Katana used in those meetings from NUP side. We were discussing the electoral process, having a meeting almost every week with security involved. The head of police operations was meeting with us, chaired by the electoral commission chairperson, and other commissioners were attending those meetings. So issues where they had concerns, they would raise and we would discuss them in those meetings. So to say military, were the military people on the polling stations?
Yes, they were.
I went and voted here in Kampala. I didn't see any military person at the polling station. We counted the votes were there. There was no military in the voting. The votes were announced by electoral official at the polling station. It was not announced by the military. So
what gives you hope that the next 5 years are going to be bright, not as bleak as some of you say?
Because we have had bright 40 years. Why should the 5 be a problem when we have had the 40 and the 40 are bright? Don't you know that? That's why we are here, because there's the security in the country. There cannot be insecurity in these next 5 years. Whoever will try to bring insecurity in Uganda will definitely be dealt with like we have dealt with many before. Remember at one time we had the LRA fighting, we had the UPA in Teso, we had the Front for National Salvation in West Nile, we had the ADF coming from Congo. We have dealt with all of them.
Do you know of any unresolved political questions that need to be tackled in the next 5 years?
I don't know of any, because everything is laid down in the Constitution of Uganda. If you want to change a president, it is clear how you change a president. If you want to change an MP, like they changed the Semuju, it is very clear. It was in the context of the Constitution. That's why Semuju cannot complaining, because his removal was constitutional. They did come and say, Semuju, get out, because you criticize the NRM. No.
Moses, I never had the military. The person who defeated me never had the military. He didn't fire tear gas at me. I didn't fire tear gas.
So where is the military you talk about?
He didn't beat me. Things that Museveni was doing to his rivals. Firing tear gas at their meetings, stopping them from accessing their
venues. No. I was following all this in the electoral commission meetings.
So you mean the tear gas was happening in the body?
Wait. You see, let me give you an example. Yes. When Bobby Wine went to Fort Potro for his rally, he was coming from Kasese side. And his venue where he was supposed to have a rally is where President Museveni had a rally earlier, before. And in the same venue, on the road from Kasese to Fort Potro town, for him, when he came and said, I want to go to town first, to go to make a drive in
which
town.
Was a very big crime.
Yes, because the police said, no, you are right, supposed to be there.
But
and that brings an altercation.
Honorable Waliomunsi.
Yes. Because it was the police work.
Honorable Semuju seems to depict the next 5 years with a projection of chaos, uncertainty, and bleakness.
Well, that is the same that he's best. That's the rhetoric.
He's a pessimist, right?
That's the rhetoric he has always had.
So I am the one imprisoning people
for
by
many
your
years. Let me comment on the age of the president. Let me repeat the discussion we had in Parliament on amending the constitution on age limit. Whereas some of us chose to engage in an intellectual debate, others went into physical fighting. And I said there are two types of aging, if I speak as a scientist. There's what we call chronological aging, that is adding on years, and biological aging. You might be chronologically aged when you are biologically young. For instance, you may meet somebody who is 60 years and he looks like an 100-year-old, depending on how you have looked after yourself. So President Yoweri Museveni is, while he is over 80, he is still biologically sound. And that's why Ugandans voted him. If it was somebody who is senile with dementia and can't articulate, people would not have voted for him. That's why we amended the constitution to say, let's remove the age limit. It will be the voters to decide. If you are young, because now an 18-year-old can stand for presidency. But people would say this is too young. You are too young to lead us. A person beyond 75 can stand. So it is up to the voters to say, because President Yoweri Museveni campaigned, he held over 140 rallies in the country, and people assessed him. If he was too old to lead, people would have said, you have overaged. So in as far as we are concerned,
it's not an issue.
It's not an issue. And it's not a question of biology. It's more of ideology. What are you articulating? What are you going to do for Ugandans? How are you going to fight poverty? How are you going to address the quality of life of Ugandans? And that's why even those whom you are saying we are young, we have voted out, we are not voted. There are some who are in their 30s and 40s standing for the president, but they were looking at the manifestos. If you are 30 and you are not promising anything useful to Ugandans, they won't vote you, so it's not a question of age. In any case, the president will be the head of government, but he has an institution.
So are you looking at a stronger Museveni in the next 5 years?
To deliver. So the next 5 years, they are articulated.
Is it a stronger Museveni who is awakening the country now?
Yes, he remains strong like he has been. Because there is a manifesto that we presented to Ugandans. There is a national development plan which articulates the vision of the country and the government in the next 5 years, and the other instruments. And those are what translate into annual plans of the different sectors. So if you want the list of the next 5 years, first of all, it is a government in the continuity, where it's NRM continuing, and therefore we consolidate and scale the programs which NRM has been implementing. Like you say, the infrastructure programs, expanding the road network, electricity, safe water, social services, health, education, and we have brought out those points, the areas which will be handled in the next 5 years. Like education, we have said, we are now going to move to free primary and secondary education because school fees remains a challenge. But the flagship program of the government is going to be wealth creation, the PDM, Emyoga, and others. Because
can all these thrive before fixing the political question that Semoju talks about?
Which question? You see, you don't create a question because you have lost or you have failed to capture power. No, we have a multi-party dispensation. Political parties are contesting for power. The political party which garners the biggest percentage goes into leadership. Simply because the Semoju's party cannot win, that doesn't mean there is a crisis in our politics. No, the constitution is very clear that even if President Yoweri Museveni was to leave, either, God forbid, through death or maybe leaving politics,
that God should forbid death.
There are mechanisms outlined in the constitution how we would transition into the next leader. So there is no crisis at all. In as far
how does it appear to you when the two big rivals of President Museveni, of the opposition, the two big figureheads in the opposition. One is incarcerated without an end to his trial, and the other one is in exile.
Dr. Besigye. You see, I have said this severally, that being a political actor does not insulate you from prosecution if you are suspected of committing a crime. There are charges which have been preferred against Dr. Besigye. Don't tell me because he heads a political party, therefore, if he's suspected of committing crimes, he should be left alone. I think that would be wrong.
Isn't this an issue that the president should be talking to? Seriously.
Come again?
Isn't this one of the issues, the political issues that the president should speak to?
Which
freedom of political contenders.
Yes, and
if you don't, if you commit
has
crime,
that freedom been narrowed or removed? We have told you there were 8 contestants against President Yoweri Museveni. Political parties, isn't Semuju here representing the opposition? Why didn't I stop him as Minister of Information from appearing on this show? Political actors of different shades of opinion are active. It is not a crime that Ugandans, majority of them, support NRM. And don't make me appear shameful simply because the party I belong to is voted by Ugandans. Dr. Kizza Besigye is in prison not because he's an opposition leader, but because the state suspects that he engaged in crimes. And his case is before the courts of law. What we would pray for, like we have said always, the court process should be expedited for him to get justice through court. The Honorable Chaguranyi, the leader of NUP, for the umpteenth time, I have to state that he went to exile or wherever he is on his own volition. The state is not hunting for him. There are no charges which have been preferred against him. He's very free to return to Uganda and go to his home. And I know for a fact that he will be coming soon and he settles back home. So that does not amount to a crisis at all. It doesn't. So the so-called political question, the question is in your head. It's not in the heads of you. What Ugandans need,
Honorable Semuju,
what Ugandans need,
you heard from
is for us to work and improve services.
That political question is just a figment of your imagination.
Let me finish my sentence. What Ugandans out there need is stability, having this peace, and the government and other service providers extending services, health care. Let's improve health care, improve education, expand the road network, let people have access to safe water, handle this digital transformation like ICT digital services, so that they can have a comfortable life in their country.
Thank you. Honorable Semuju, I'll give you a couple of minutes before we take a break.
Of these Semujus, not Ugandans.
There are young people arrested, kidnapped using drones during the 2021 elections. If you visit the Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi, they are still in Kitaria. They have never been tried. They don't know their charges. They are there in their hundreds. Chris, these children have, these people have parents. They have never been tried. The only group they afraid was the one Balaam went to speak, I don't know whether to Muhoozi or to his father, and they said for you to get out, first come here and confess that you have committed crimes, and then they will pardon you. Those who said, but we can't concede to crimes you have not committed are still in jail. Dr. Besigye has been tried, I don't know how many times, for rape, for treason, misprision of treason, terrorism, everything. Even when that trial of his, the holding charges in the file of police had something to do with smuggling. He ended up being charged with rape. It's not the first time that offenses are manufactured. I told you here, in my case, during walk to work, I walked from Chireka, got arrested in Banda. But the charges they put on my file by the investigating officer was terrorism. It took the intervention, I think, it took the intervention, I think, of the DPP, because they had put nothing on the file, to at least charge him with the public nuisance, because they were looking nuisance themselves. that you found him with a bottle of mineral water walking and you are saying terrorism.
Why would that be an issue in 75 years?
You have just passed the Protection of Sovereignty Bill. You media covered it as if it was going to affect all the political parties and civil society. There is a clause on economic sabotage, and you're going to be arrested, convicted, either some 20 years, I don't remember the penalties. If you've authored or broadcast an article that is construed to mean you are sabotaging the economy of Uganda. So the civic space is...
And that's good.
The civic space is shrinking.
You heard Moses?
Why would you sabotage the economy?
Whose interest will be?
Whose economy are you talking about?
You sabotage the economy of Uganda.
I have told you for...
What is sabotage?
It is defined in the law.
Because of walking, they were charging me with terrorism. It's not that people are going to commit economic sabotage, but they are looking for offenses for social media, for everybody, civil society. So the civic space is shrinking. And the good thing with the NRM people, you will also fall victim.
It's okay.
You will fall victim. When you create a system that is unjust and unfair, it is just a matter of time before that system eats you. So we need fairness, we need justice, the fabrication of cases to ensure that particular people are in prison. All that needs to stop.
Well, as we take a break, the question remains, as President Museveni returns for the 7th term, with a lot of pomp. This time I saw the unusual pomp. And what exactly explains it, by the way? The drone shows, there was a lot of fanfare.
We are moving on. This is not Uganda of 1996 or 1986, and so many things have changed.
I saw the taxpayers' money going up in the skies.
We had to show it. I wanted to correct.
When you are ugly, the amount of makeup will be more than normal. That's what you saw.
We'll take a break and be back shortly.
NBS Frontline. Breaking now. Now Post delivers Uganda's fastest, accurate news as it happens. From hard-hitting headlines to exclusive interviews, we bring details of stories everyone is talking about. Accurate, fast, and balanced. Get every update at nowpost.co.ug. Follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, and never miss a moment. The Now Post. Accurate news, fast.
Across Uganda, the parish development model is paving the way for prosperity, helping families transform their lives through strategic farming practices, like the 4-acre model.
In our Chibaro of 1996, we said first acre, put coffee. Second acre, fruits. The third acre, you put pasture for dairy cows. The fourth acre, for food, cassava. The good thing is that now cassava is also becoming a very good cash product, but at least for food. Then, mind you, the backyard. You put poultry for eggs, you put piggery.
I'm in a 1-acre plot of land. In this 1 acre, Your Excellency, I practice this banana plantation. I also practice coffee. I also have dairy, Your Excellency. Every month, Your Excellency, I get 500,000 from these bunches.
The 7 activities we recommended, they have a big global demand.
We have 10,000 Nile tilapia fish and 10,000 African catfish. And when we sell our 10,000 tilapia, we get in one harvest 20 million shillings.
Fruits, especially capsule, which is cold, can do very high value crops like apples. And then finally, those who are near the wetlands, like the ones in Bukit who are wasting the wetlands, they should do fish farming, not in the center of the swamp, but at the edge of the swamp.
From coffee farms to fish ponds, the 4-acre model is empowering Ugandans to transform their lives. The parish development model is your pathway to wealth creation. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance.
Wherever God is taking you, the spirit of prophecy is going to work with you. If you're going to be a business mogul, so now when you want something moving in your life, join a company of prophets. Hallelujah. Be in the company of the prophetic. Now here is a politician, and before he gets in his race, God is leading him to the prophetic.
Watch The Power of Prophecy with Prophet Elvis Mbonye this Saturday, 6:30 p.m. on NBS TV, Uganda.
Frontline.
Yes, it's still the Frontline as we take a peek into what awaits President Yoweri Museveni in this new term as he takes on, goes 40 plus in power. Moses.
Okay. You see, in this parliament that has ended, we have had trouble with all the people attending parliament. The work of internal affairs in parliament is being done by General David Muhoozi. Otafire is never there. The work of finance is done by Musasizi. Kasaija, who is Museveni's age, is never there. The work of education is done by Jesse Muyingo, Ogwanga, and others. The Honorable Janet Kataha is never there. Jim Muhoozi comes in once in a while. We must respect age. The Honorable Kadaga is never at parliament.
Yeah, but you had
the deputy.
But you must say some people are chronologically old.
I am telling you that
others are biological.
That has been the conduct of all the old people.
But the ministerial work is not only parliament.
They brought Kadaga's deputy, Mogode Ekuya, in a wheelbarrow for vetting these old people.
Wheelchair, wheelbarrow?
Wheelbarrow. So and I'm not saying this.
Please be respectful. Only Mogode Ekuya was unaware.
Yeah, that's why I said he was brought in
a wheelbarrow. Is not the same as old age.
No, of course, age comes with a lot of diseases. That's why even at parliament.
Are you saying all those who are sick?
That's why at parliament, even the medical insurance refused the old people. Chris, I don't have to be a scientist.
You're also going to grow old.
Yes, when I grow old, I am going to face the same problem. So the service providers of medical service at parliament refused the old people. Now we've done a package for them. So these scientists, the almost said, no, we are not going to be
insurance all over the world.
Exactly,
but medical insurance considers the age of the person. That's a given.
But you had Bariomus said age will not take a toll on the president.
But what is the problem with Semuju?
Develop my point.
Okay, fine.
The point I am making, it is natural that when you grow old, you lose energy. I don't have the same energy like I had 20 years ago. So you cannot be waking up the country when you are a candidate for sleeping yourself together with your colleagues. Because that age, Mwenda said Museveni is aging times 2. Because the man has been working since he was in secondary school. So the person who should be waking up, I was told one time we were arguing about loans, that we pay commitment fees. In the last 5 years, we've paid about 600 billion. And I was told, I don't have proof of it, but I will tell you what others told me, that you can't have a team led by an 82-year-old man, Kasaija, to go and face Chinese fresh graduates. They have just finished PhD at 30. When they, so that discussion that you have them with the laptop.
No, but did Kasaija go alone?
I said leading a team. Yeah, I didn't say that going alone.
And that team will work.
So when you are a team captain and I like Kasaija, so I don't want to offend him. So there is a limitation.
So when nursery school children to be appointed.
I didn't say nursery school children. I said young people who have just finished their PhDs at 30 years. So maybe in Chris Wayomusi's constituency, people go to nursery school when they are 30. Because I said 30 years. So the point is...
You and Musisi who is older.
That's why I am out. So they have said you should get out.
Okay.
Yeah. So do you have another question?
But for Ugandans, they want to vote Museveni.
Do you have another question?
For Uganda, they want to vote Museveni.
The point is, an 81-year-old man cannot be the one waking up the country. Because, as I said, he's a candidate for sleeping. If you want to transform, because look at the energy that Museveni had.
Yeah, but I think we are dwelling so much on age.
It is very serious. That's why it was in the constitution.
But Ugandans have decided.
It was in the constitution until it was
Should it be an issue?
It remains an issue. Museveni himself in an interview said when you are 75, you are tired. He said it himself.
America now is ruled by a president who is 79.
That's why he's messing up.
Well, he has 2 more years. He will go into 80s.
That's why he's messing up.
Well, that's your point. That's your side. But you see, age is not the issue. America is now ruled by President Trump in his late 70s. He's going to go into 80s. And the Americans, they voted for him.
Moses, as President Museveni
they voted for him against a younger person.
Okay. Moses, as President Museveni comes to awaken the nation, what's that one promise that he made in his speech that you would call a game changer?
Well, transforming Uganda.
He has always said it.
And it's continuous. Transformation is...
I'm looking for a game changer.
Yeah, but he's saying...
no, that's what you're looking for.
You said nothing.
No, you're not speaking for me.
No, that's what you have said. You don't speak for
yourself. The President Museveni, for him, yes. What he said in 1971, he will say it tomorrow. He has been consistent.
Yeah, but what is that one thing
every time...
He has said he says the same thing.
Same Jew failed to tell his people what he would change them, and they voted him out. President Museveni told the people... See, what he said the other day was just
a summary. In 1980 he was not voted? That time he wasn't speaking.
Well, now they voted for him.
He stood for parliament and lost.
They voted for him all these years.
So don't present him
and
as if he has been successfully elected. He stood and failed and captured power by gun.
So you have lost your election. Keep quiet.
No, you can't keep quiet because you are comparing you to someone who only accessed power through the gun.
For you can't compare with President Museveni.
Because me, I contested, and certainly we cannot compare.
Yeah, you know it. Anyway.
Okay.
Well, you were speaking at the keep quiet.
Okay, let's get back.
Yes.
What is that awakening line, that X factor, where you would say, this time the president has nailed it, and indeed he means it?
It's not about this time, it has been all the time.
So it was a rhetorical speech, right?
It's all the time.
Same thing.
You see, for us, ours is not about just an event. It's just one item. It's a process of transforming Uganda from poverty to prosperity. And that's why he has been saying prosperity for all.
Moses, you've seen presidents speak at their inaugural addresses, and they outline what they intend to do.
Yeah. You see,
there is a sense of freshness. Where is the freshness in Museveni?
I said our target is to transform Uganda, transform Ugandans from poverty to prosperity. That's why we say prosperity for all. To transform Uganda into a manufacturing country. That's why we are saying that we want to grow the economy to tenfold from the current.
What is new?
What do you want new? But did you vote? Did you vote?
Moses,
That's what we voted for.
Personal.
That's what we voted for.
Njara.
We have a manifesto. But please, now.
Okay, let's give him a chance.
If you want us to get out of that,
no, it's okay. I'll give you a couple of minutes to make your submission.
Yeah. So, we had a manifesto, which represents the people of Uganda, with all the activities we're going to do, transform the society from poverty, get all the people into money economy. That's one of our areas. That's why we're saying no sleep. And that thing of no sleep, somebody said to me, but that's why we are the same. We don't have to change. That no sleep is good from Proverbs 20:13, which says, do not love sleep or you will grow poor. Stay awake and you will have food to spare. That's from the Bible. Now, we talked about transformation of society, work on social infrastructure,
so you
work on manufacturing.
You are preaching from the Bible.
President Museveni has always referred to the Bible.
So this is a continuation.
Yes.
Of the same thing.
The same evils.
Yes.
The same evils.
Kagwanjala, we are in charge of this country, Uganda, as NRM. We have been elected over this time. We are continuing with what we have been doing. If you want to say, bring something so new about what? We are continuing with the construction of the roads.
Corruption.
The railway. Fortunately, we are fighting it. The railway and everything.
With corruption.
So if you want what we are going to do, our manifesto is very clear. We want to transform this economy 10 times through agro-industrialization, through tourism, through manufacturing, which includes mineral beatification. And now there's something else I wanted to clarify on. Someone here was asking a question that, do we earn anything from gold? I sent here a text message to one of the commissioners in URA, and he answered me that on average we earn about 50 billion from export of gold. But Semuju was saying, for me, it doesn't sit in the budget speech.
Which 50 billion? US dollars?
Shillings, Ugandan shillings.
Is it reflected anywhere in the budget?
I contacted the commissioner in URA, and they sent me a message that we were collecting about 50 billion from export of gold, which Semuju was here contesting.
But anyway, I told you, Uganda sells gold worth $6 billion US dollar.
It's not a country. Now you see, it's something. Somebody will please learn. You see, we are exporting. We are exporting coffee, worth $2.4 billion.
Yes.
Is that money in the budget?
It's not in the budget because minerals are public. Coffee is not.
Minerals are not public. I told you.
Go and read the mineral
I've told you.
You don't treat gold because when you begin selling oil, the money will be directed to us. It's not private.
I've told you that, for instance, like now, we have the gold mining in
all minerals are public.
Please, Semuju, listen.
Yes.
We have.
They are not like a coffee. You're comparing.
First of all, I've told you, gold is coming in from Ghana. That's not public.
Where
it's coming in from Burkina Faso.
Not a business. I'm telling you, it's not our gold.
It's coming in from Burkina Faso. It's coming in from Tanzania, coming through Uganda for refining. So that's not Ugandan gold. But Uganda is earning through the value addition.
And I agree with you.
So that's your problem.
Yeah. So don't count gold when you are counting GDP. That's all I am saying.
What from the tax you are asking? You said
because when you are presenting documents, you say we earn 6 billion.
That's an export gold. From a country. That's an export.
You don't export.
When this Apple phone is made in China. Although the company is owned by America, it is counted in Chinese exports.
As you start a new chapter, as NRM, what are you offloading?
Can I ask you, as he comes as well, if you can allow? Because you see, in the third National Development Plan, NRM said they will be creating 800,000 jobs every year.
NDP3, right?
Yes. At the conclusion of it, they said, but we have been creating about 300, not even half, 300,000. And I want the minister, because I want to deal with the figures. And people who do these figures, many of them do a good job.
But I've told you a figure of 50 billion earning from gold, you are disputing it.
I didn't actually, you have said a figure which is low. I am only saying don't count. Don't count.
Okay.
So the question, tell me why the performance of National Development Plan 3 was less than 20%.
First of all, the assessment of 20% is yours.
Yeah.
No, it is not mine.
It's yours.
That's not the
What is your assessment?
the government's position. You very well appreciate that we have moved into the middle income economy. Are you aware of that?
I don't agree.
First of all, like I have said, this is a continuing government, because NRM, which has been running the affairs, and we've been voted, and voting NRM means Ugandans have assessed the performance of the NRM government and given it a nod and expressed confidence again to go ahead. And now we continue. We do not have to be disruptive to show that it's a new term, because over the years, there are interventions which the government has pursued and they have worked. So you do not have to change them. They have worked because there are ways through which we measure whether there is progress, whether there is impact of the interventions being implemented.
So what has worked?
The many interventions which government has been spearheading have worked.
Like?
Oh, like access to education, improvement in healthcare, infrastructure programs, extending roads, electricity, safe water, all these. And there are variables and parameters which we use to measure. Like we were talking of PDM, whether it is successful or not. It depends on what you are looking at. For a program to have impact, you measure it after a minimum of 3 years. And PDM has been now like 3-4 years. When we began PDM, the percentage of households in subsistence economy, like I said earlier on, was at 39%. It has dropped to 33%. But more studies will be carried out to study the impact.
What was the reduction before PDM? You mean it was not reducing? But it was reducing even before PDM.
Yes, it reduced, like I said, from 68 to 39.
So the reduction
is not, and others.
The reduction,
and under the period
but
of
the reduction
PDM
wasn't necessarily PDM.
So, you see, we do periodic studies. One of them is the Uganda Demographic and Health Survey, which measures social indicators like in healthcare, like in education, and so forth. There are other community surveys which UBOS carries out periodically to look at the economy, to look at the impact of programs and so forth. The other day I was giving statistics in Parliament of how over the 40 years many things have changed, whether it's in healthcare, because these things are measured, but they can be measured. If you talk of life expectancy, mortality rate for children, mortality rate for mothers, levels of poverty, all these things are measured. And over the last 40 years, there has been a tremendous improvement. And the methodologies used are robust, are used across Africa. For instance, in the population and health sphere, we have the demographic and health surveys. We usually do them with USAID, CDC, and other American people. So the methods which are used here are used in Tanzania, Kenya, and they can be compared. And Uganda has been scoring where the indicators have been improving. So if you have interventions which are resulting into a positive impact, you don't have to disrupt them.
Okay, is there...
You can only continue so that you have...
Is there any one magic bullet that you would talk of that is going to awaken and not to make NRM appear like it's business as usual?
Well, the business has been good. The president has made major two pronouncements. One, the phenomenon of no sleep, where he's saying Ugandans must reawaken themselves so that all of us in our respective spaces where we are, we mobilize for wealth creation, to mobilize the population to be part of the money economy. That's a major pronouncement. He has also been very categorical on the issue of zero tolerance to corruption. And we shall support him in the fight against corruption, so that the resources which we are losing through this hemorrhage, through abuse by those who hold office and responsibility, if that money can be saved and is plowed into interventions, that will catapult us into a good future.
Well, so yes.
A communication here from Dr. Kankwasa, the head of NEMA, disputing what Semuji is saying about NDP performance. So Semuji is here just using information to misguide.
Semuji just
These programs, the NDP are consolidated by NPA. I want you to receive information from NPA.
No, it is quoting NPA.
Not from Kankwasa.
Yes, but for you are quoting from who? You're quoting who?
I am quoting documents that...
No, it's which document? Which document?
But you are quoting Kankwasa is a document.
No, Kankwasa quoted a document.
So you mean Kankwasa is a document?
He quoted a document and sent it here.
Moses Biarohanga, the fact that you at your level don't know the performance and you need Kankwasa to tell you, it tells you there is a problem.
You got the
there
problem.
Are many things that you know.
And the problem
How comes this one you don't know? You need a Kankwasa of NEMA.
And the problem is you.
Would you give it to government for committing to fight corruption in the next 5 years?
I have been asked about corruption, and I have told you the biggest problem, because we begin discussing corruption from a different angle. We finished the processing of the budget, Simon.
As you continue, I need to show you the UNDP report about midterm review of National Development Plan 3. They say the midterm review results show that the country attained only 17% of the targets set in the plan halfway into its implementation.
17%.
Midterm?
Yes.
That was midterm.
That was midterm.
At full time, it was less than 25.
No. I'm waiting.
And when I asked Mr. Google, he says Uganda's third National Development Plan, NDP3, 2020-21, 2024-25, achieved roughly 60% of its target.
So now what do you believe?
Wait, by its conclusion, hold on. By its conclusion, falling short of the intended 80% goal.
But so
60% and 20%.
I was with you in Parliament.
No.
When they brought
when you get 60%,
when they brought a report,
have you passed or not?
When they brought a report, when we are
this is just the AI from the computer.
It is okay.
No.
Akankwasa says 70, Bariomus says 60. I am saying
this is not a government report, but it's just AI.
I'm saying 20.
No, 20. But let me ask you.
Can I answer my question?
Yes, please.
When you get 60%,
NDP,
will you have passed or failed?
UNDP has said at halfway, performance
there
was 17%. So I mean the last 2 years.
Of course, there are usually problems at the starting of a program.
Okay.
You are approaching this year and so forth, but as you move,
you scale up.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, fine. Corruption.
Because the money government is misusing it officially. It is easier to fight people who have not been authorized to steal government money. But what our focus should be first with the money that is being officially given. I remember when the Amambabas were doing, we were investigating ghost soldiers. Kazin, the late, told them that there is money that we officially share. I told the people interviewing me in the morning, in the budget you have 197 billion for donation. You don't have 8 billion shilling for you able to train examiners who are going to examine children under the new curriculum. That has not been provided in the budget. National Curriculum Development Center asked for 6 billion to complete the 34 subjects. They were given it 2. That money is not there. We have 300 billion for special meals and drinks. And I am a beneficiary because we go and get a free breakfast, free lunch. You have 1 trillion shilling on in and travel. So in total, you have about 8 trillion shillings that is officially shared. That's what you need to deal with first, before you go and hunt for people who are stealing money through procurement, through construction, and so on and so forth. Because those ones you may succeed or you may not succeed, depending on how sophisticated the stealing has happened. But the tendency is to discuss those who have stolen and then leave the ones who are sharing money officially.
Well, Senjo, as we get out of here,
yes. So,
do you have any iota of optimism about the next 5 years?
I think it's going to be the worst in our history. Militarism, imprisonment, threats with a tired leader. That's what is going to characterize. And many of them, you see, I don't want to blame voters, but sometimes, because I up to now, I keep asking myself, and I'm saying this cautiously, what motivated people to go and vote for General Moses Ali? He served them, he's a nice guy, I like him, but he's tired, and you all see the state. Even the swearing in, he couldn't come at the public podium. Him and the Honorable Kadaga had to be taken somewhere else for the swearing in. So sometimes voters can make choice, and you are shocked by that.
Gentlemen, we need to get out of here. Whether to be optimistic or pessimistic, there's a lot to watch. That's all we have.
Comment.
Yes.
The reason why NDP3 could have not performed very well in the first half was because of COVID. No, it started during the COVID period.
Okay. Have a lovely night.